Good morning. Here we go. Game time, right? Glad you're here. Welcome to Win the Day podcast, our daily conversation where we talk about how to win the day. I was just looking at my numbers. We track our numbers every week. This month or in June, we're going to close. We are scheduled to close 13 transactions. All right. Yeah. I mean, the last time we had a double-digit month was 11 months ago. July of 2020, whatever that is, do the math, 21 or 22. 2022 was the last time we had a double-digit closing month. Isn't that wild? Prior to that, listen to this. Starting in January of 2022, 14, okay, 25, 27, 29, 16, 17. Then went 8, 8, 8, 9, 9, 6, 8. Killers, right? 9, 8. I take that back. March, we had, oh no, wrong month. My fault. Yeah. So now we've been dying on the vine. 5, 8, 8, 4. 5. Well, that's hasn't closed. We're going to be higher than that. Isn't that wild? Mm-hmm. That's a down cycle. Okay.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like you don't see it coming and it shows up, right?
Yeah. And it was like overnight, June 17, July 8. We haven't sniffed 17 for 12 months. Isn't that wild?
And how many pendings you have now?
We have 13, 14, I think, right now.
Very good.
John, what do you attribute that to?
The market turned. Right? I don't have my number of listings here, but I can tell you it's the reverse. So we probably had 25 closings in February of 2022. We probably had 8 listings, 10 listings. Now I have 50 listings and 10 closings. The market turned. And in our case, we deal primarily with investment properties. We don't do a whole lot of residentials. So our market is very susceptible. I mean, prior to that, that was a bad year for us too. Prior to that, we averaged 22 closings a month for like 16 months in a row. That was good. Now, this is the interesting thing, right? Prices are up from pre-COVID anyway, which is 2020, are double. So that if you're doing 20 transactions in 2020, 21, that's the same as doing 10 now from an income standpoint. Mm-hmm. So that's saved us because we're still profitable. As a matter of fact, we're doing pretty good. But yeah, it's weird. The market turns. My point in all that, if Destiny, you've been in this business for 2.5 years, so you're at the tail end of that little party. You showed up and they had a few hors d'oeuvres left on the tray, but not much, right?
Right.
And then the cops showed up and everybody ran. It's the way it is, right? And that's where we are right now. And they're trying to recalculate and reconfigure what the market is going to be and look like. Gary says it's going to be 2026. The prevailing wisdom was survive until 25, but I don't know.
John, do you feel like it's seasonal at all with the market? I've noticed with the season changing, I'm getting a lot more people on the phone saying they're interested in maybe putting their house on the market in the summer.
What kind of house? Is it investment house or primary residence?
Primary residence.
Okay, so primary residences go with the school year, right?
Okay.
May is graduation.
Mm-hmm.
Kids move from one school to the next. We don't want to move during a school year, so we're going to sell June, July, August, so I can be in my new school. So yes, that is the answer for absolutely certain across the country. And some of it's seasonal. A lot of people don't want to sell at the Christmas time because they have all their stuff up. Some people want to sell because it's tax reasons. So what I would tell you, Destiny, is know your market. Mm-hmm. If you study the trends, you'll know the seasonality. So yes is the answer to that question. Julie's on here. My fault. Let me get Julie on here. Hey, Julie. And then I don't know if anybody's on Facebook or not. Can somebody monitor that and let me know on that?
We got it. You got a comment from Tanya Karan.
Okay.
Go up on the screen and respond to that great comment.
What did she say? UG 26? Is that what I'm saying?
Yeah, your comment about Gary saying
Yeah, so 2026, Gary's got a lot of firepower, no doubt, information and whatnot. I don't know if it's going to be 2026, and I think everything is where your market is, right? Because I've got some properties that I had a listing. We had 3 people inquire on it. I've had the listing for 3 months. Nothing in like in an hour. 3 different buyers called on it. 2 of them backed out already, though, so that's good news. So I don't know. I still think the Fed's going to lower rates. Gary was in agreement on that in September. I think that's going to happen. And when that happens, buyers going to have some more purchasing power. And I think you'll see a rush to some things. But the biggest issue, you guys, is supply. And you can say supply is up, and there's no doubt it's up. But up from what is the question you need to ask. If there's 4 things for sale and now there's 8, is that a lot? It's a 50% jump. But is it up? No. It's still very thin, right? So there's not enough supply for the number of people that want to buy. Okay. So I think if rates come down, you're going to see a run to the most affordable properties. They're going to disappear, leaving only the expensive properties, which will become the cheap ones because the new sellers will come on at a higher price. So that's what my crystal ball tells me. But I don't want to talk about that today. What I want to talk about today is your schedule and how to win the day today. So here, I'm going to tell you a little story. I used to run. I wasn't much of a runner, but I ran some, right? And I ended up running a couple marathons, and I had a goal to be a sub 3-hour run. It wasn't a race. I wasn't going to win anything. It was a run, sub 3 hours. If you don't know, of all the people who start marathons, only 4%, according to Google, and let's believe them, only 4% finish faster than 3 hours. Okay. The average is somewhere around 4.5, I think I saw. So a 3 hours is pretty good. I think it's running like a 7.5 minute mile or something like that. I don't know, something like that. So that was my goal. And I ran. And what I found when I was running, when you run for 3 hours, I mean, that's a significant period of time when you're exerting some effort, right? Wait. Never mind. So when you're running, or at least when I run, I would get bored out of my skull. And then I get that little, devil on my shoulder saying, oh man, you got to be tired. How can you not be tired? I mean, you've been running for 20 minutes. You got to be tired. Look at all these people. You'll never, all that. And you start thinking about it. And you got to be able, it's just like lead gen, right? It's the same damn thing. Mm-hmm. And when I found myself, what I ended up doing, I've done this my whole life, but what I found myself doing is I ran with the group for the longest time, right? The first half of the thing, the group will pull you, and you're at, 15 miles or so. So make sure you get with a good group, right? Oh, that's a lot like real estate too, who you hang out with. So at any rate, I got to about the 15-mile mark, and then it started to spread out a little bit. I found myself more by myself rather than in a pack. And that's when the conversation started, right? And what I do in those times is I would run hard, and then I'd walk. I'd literally walk. And people are like, oh my God, you didn't run the whole thing? Yeah, I wasn't interested in running the whole thing. I was interested in getting a time, right? I wanted a result, all right? If the result was to run 26 miles, I would have done that. But the result was a time. So what I ended up doing the last probably 9 miles is run, walk. And the walk was just a way to let my mind loose, to wander and make fun of all the other people and who's watching. I mean, who'd come watch a running race, for God's sake? But so that's where I would be. And then I'd hit my little internal clock, and I'd focus in, laser, for the next 2 or 3 miles, and I'd run fairly quick. And I did that for about the last 9 miles. And I didn't break the 3. I got 3:19, which is still a pretty good pace. Still less than 8-minute miles, which I was happy with. So at any rate, my point is I've run my career the same way. I go really strong for relatively short periods of time, full on, out focus. And then I let my mind wander, right? Go do different fun side projects, the shiny object thing. But I always come back to lead gen 100% all in for a period of time. And I ended up with 40 plus listings on my own, no help, no admin, no nothing, right? It was great and a nightmare at the same time. And then I got admin, we built our team up, and we've done 1,500 plus transactions in the last 10, 12 years, whatever it's been, $600+ million in sales. I've bought real estate. I've paid off loans. I've fully funded all my stuff. I got a 6-figure passive, well, it's not passive, but cash flowing situation. All good. But most of that came in a short period of time in between 20 and 22 when the market was rocking and we were crushing and whatever. And we've talked about this. You're going to have ups. You're going to have downs. We're in a down. We talked about it before we got on this or at the beginning of this call. Be ready for those ups. Take advantage of those ups. But equally, be ready for the downs and take advantage of the downs. The downs are not when you grow. The downs are when you create fortification. You build on your foundation. You lick your wounds. You build your muscle. You do whatever, such that when the ups come again, you're ready to run faster, and you can focus better. Okay. I often talk about the people who are abnormally dialed in, incredibly focused, right? The Michael Jordans of the world, right? These kind of people, they're going to be fine. My interest lies in those folks that are pretty good, okay. And how do we make them great? How do we not even make them great? How do we get them great results? All right. And the way I figure it is, and then what I'm doing with my people is the same thing I did with myself. And I didn't do it by plan. I did it by accident. But looking back, you know, maybe I had good coaching throughout my life. But I never studied for tests until right before the test. And I studied like a son of a bitch. And I was smart enough to pull it off. Never got straight A's, not even close. But I knew the information. I didn't care about the grade because I didn't care about the grade. I cared about the information. Kind of the same thing now. But what I tell our people and what we're doing is I want to lead gen for 2 hours. And to lead gen for 2 hours is a daunting task. It's hard. You're 20 minutes in and your mind's telling you, oh my God, you're 20 minutes in and nobody's answered. Nobody's doing this. Everybody's rude. Everybody sucks, right? Let's go have coffee. It's nature. But what I ended up figuring out and what I'm forcing my people to do is we're on 40-minute runs. Okay. We come in at this schedule. Here's our schedule. 8:30 to 9, we're doing lead gen. The number one place where agents lose is on lead gen. They don't follow up enough, right? They work so hard to get a lead and then they flitter it away. Don't do that. Come in the morning, 8:30 to 9, and do your lead gen. Call people. Hey, and it's easy. Are you still interested in buying the house? I'm still interested in listing the house. What's the next step? All right. Those are your 1-2 punch. Okay. Easy. Do that with all your leads. 9 o'clock rolls around. You start your lead gen. 40 minutes, all out, 100%. Focus. Get her done. Talk to as many people as you can. Wrong. Have as many good, meaningful conversations as you can. It's not about how many people talk to you. It's about how many conversations you have. All right. The other way is contactitis. Yeah, I contacted 80 people. Anybody do anything? No. But they all answered, or they all answered the door, or whatever. Okay. No, you're looking for conversations, right? But for that first 40 minutes, just get in there. Just grind, focus. And then at 9:40 to 10:10, leave. Go walk around. You see me walk around that office all the time, right, Mark? I'm walking around. What are you doing over here? What I'm doing is letting my mind go, right? Because I'm about to get in it for round 2, right? I'm letting my mind go. I see Gil out walking around the building. You got to let your mind go. Right? You got to look at it and say, oh, it's nice out today. Or, oh, look at somebody got a new car. Oh, whatever it is, right? What it isn't is I wonder what so-and-so is doing work-wise. You're loose, okay? Then you're coming back in, 10 to 11. It's all out, 100%. Mike Tyson, you're in the ring. You better get going, right? You're going to get killed or you're going to do something, okay? You're going to do that until 11 o'clock, 40 minutes. At 11 o'clock, until about 11:20, 11:25, you're going to take a break, right? Go get another coffee. Go see what's going on next door. Go somewhere. Sleep. I don't care. Whatever. And then be back for that 11:20 to 12 o'clock last run. Now, here's the deal. On round one, you're dialed in, you're focused. Keep track of what you're doing. I got 8 conversations, 4 emails, 1 lead. I don't know. Whatever your results are, keep track of your contacts, your appointments, and emails are what I care about, right? Round 2, if you got 1, 1, and 1, let's go for 2, 1, 1 or 2, 2, 2. Let's go for more. In round 3, let's go for more. All right. Make a little game with yourself. And remember, you're competing with yourself. What everybody else is doing doesn't matter. This is a you thing. This is you against the world. Okay. That's how you're going to win the day. And then in the afternoon, you're done. You got your lead gen, and your morning schedule is everything. I don't give a shit what you do in the afternoon. I do, but if you're going to screw something up, screw up the afternoon. Do not screw up that morning. Okay. Get that in, and you're going to find you're going to get 2 hours of lead gen in. It's going to feel like not much. You're going to be fresh, right? And you're going to do that routine for about 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks. And then you take a week off. I don't care. Go to Aruba. Do whatever. Just go play in the yard. Whatever you're going to do. But don't do work. And then you're going to come back and you're going to do that whole cycle over again. And you should really run it a 4-week cycle or 3.5, because then what you'll do is get 3 really good quarters of intense work. And it's going to feel like half a year. So you can get some win on that. And so that's what I do. And then the afternoon should look like this, in this order. You should do lead follow-up, right? Because most of our business is lost in lead follow-up. It doesn't take that long. I mean, the leads are somebody who's going to do something. It's not somebody who's just screwing around, right? Call them up. And then after lead follow-up, what you want to do is your appointments. Have your appointments, right? That's your next busiest, bestest thing after lead gen. And don't do your appointments in the morning. Don't do it. Don't do it. Do your appointments in the afternoon. The morning is for future business. All right. So then you do your appointments, and then after your appointments, what are we doing? We're doing any lead follow up and that stuff. And then after that,
Any tasks that you got to
your negotiation. That's it. Your negotiation. Right? Do your lead follow up before your negotiation. Your negotiation shit is stuff you already got, right? You already got that. That's in with you already. Your future is in lead gen. Your near-term future is in appointments. Don't fool yourself into you got to deal with my right now problem. No, your right now problem is your appointments, and your future is more important than even that, right? Your stuff you already got will wait for you. So do that after your appointments. And let's be honest, you're not going to have appointments every day. I mean, if you get rolling, you will. But even then, it's not going to take that long. You'll be able to get into your negotiations after that. And let's be honest, you're not going to have a listing appointment every day. Hopefully you are, but in the real world, you're not. So you're not plenty of time for that. And then once you're done with your negotiating, then I want you to go preview properties. Then I want you to study the market trends. So Destiny, understand when the buying seasons are, or anything else. And then after that, before you end the day, I don't even say go home because you can be out and about, but before you end the day, do your last round of lead gen, or not lead gen, but your lead follow-up, lead follow-up, right? Follow up with people in the morning, follow up with them at around lunchtime, follow up with them after they get home. You do that, I defy or challenge anybody to show me it didn't work.
John, I think what's so spot on with this, and you're using the running metaphor. I like that. I've run 10, 11 marathons, but you see 2 different types of people. Those who use strategic walk breaks from the start, and those that use walk breaks when they've bombed. And those that are basically, you start off with a full tank, you drop a quarter tank, you walk, fill it back up. And then your last 6 miles on a marathon, you don't need the walk breaks. You can run it all the way to exhaustion to the end. And that's your major vacation. And so strategically, because a marathon's a long way, strategically taking those daily walk breaks, those weekly walk breaks, so that you can run harder. And those that don't do that, they burn out and they don't finish their career. They end up not just blowing, refueling with an hour. They refuel with a week or two off, unprepared, and they're out of the game because they just have an inconsistent business. So I think you're spot on. Chunk it down to within the mornings, within the weeks, within the months, and then take that purposeful vacation so that you can work and accomplish much more.
Telling you, it works. There's studies on it. Promise. Do a hobby. I don't care. Read a book. Do something for those little time in between. Jeff, what do you got? Give us some insight.
Gil, well, I'll go with a guy on John's team, Gil. He that's what he does. He does this 40-minute walk around the parking lot, and I'd see him doing it because I had to do the same thing. Very motivating. And Gil went from, I don't know, struggling hard to being very successful right now as far as your team goes, right, John?
Yep.
Utilizing this. So there's
Exceptional.
nothing more to. Where is this schedule posted? It's on your Facebook post?
Yes, this morning. Yes.
So if you're listening to this, you need to go to Facebook on and John's, is that at the beach team?
John Moran.
It's there. It's all you need.
It
It's
works.
awesome. It works. Period. Next.
Julie, what do you got?
I like the metaphor, just like Mark, because here's the thing. And I'll tell a quick story. I don't know if anyone's familiar with the Iditarod, the Alaskan race.
Mm-hmm.
So they talk about, and I don't remember the exacts, I just know the overall. There was a guy who won it year after year after year. And what they used to do is they'd take these sled dogs and they would do this, I think it's 1,100-mile race. I can't even tell you from, one place to another. And they would go 24/7 without resting. And it always took a certain amount of time. And then this one guy came along and he said, I'm going to let my dogs rest. And he would go X amount of time and then they would rest for, 2, 3, 4 hours. And he broke the record by a couple of days. It had always been the same within a few hours, days. And he broke the record by taking time to rest. So the whole point is chunk it up and rest. If you just go, you're going to be forced to rest, and those are harder to recover from. You're going to bonk, to use the term that Mark was using. So, and that's one of the things I learned in anything endurance. There's certain things that you can just go until you drop. And as much as people don't believe it, you can do that with a marathon. But your body can't physically do it and your mind can't physically do it beyond there's a certain amount of grit, but there's a certain point where you can't. You have to slow down. So you have to take into account the rest piece. And that's, something like an Ironman. You have to rest or you have to slow it down and go slower the whole time. And that's usually not the way to win with, I think most people, you need to have chunks of breaks to free up your mind.
Yeah,
No doubt. That's a good example. Destiny, you're a new agent, 2.5 years into this. What are you bumping into?
Well, I'm only barely 1.5 years in, but I
That's
think
so good.
for
You are. You
me,
get twice as much time.
I love what you said about those 40-minute breaks because I don't do that, and it's being beat up brutally on that dialer every day, threatened and called names and cussed at and yelled at, and I'm drained by the end. And it's just like, I don't want to do anything else for the rest of the day because I've been beat up so bad. And so it's taking those breaks to get up and walk around. I've seen you walk around the office too. So now I know what you're doing. And that makes a lot of sense to just break it down into increments and rest your brain and then get back into it. I like that a lot.
Makes sense now. Like, why is that guy always over here?
Yeah.
About every
I thought you liked the coffee
once
that
an
much.
hour, right? And I like to bitch. So there's that.
Mhm.
All right, so there you go. That's how you're going to win the day. That's how you're going to win your career, for Pete's sake. Hope that helps. Hope it helps. Anybody else got anything they want to add real quick? Any comments, concerns, issues?
I would add one thing, John. So people don't feel like, Destiny was just talking about being beat up. You don't have to win every single day, every single week, every single month. you have to win about 3/4 of the time. So, if you can do it every single day, great. But it's better to rest. So if you win, 3 out of 4 days,
You win 3 out of 4.
5.
I would like to talk to you.
Well, and I will say this:
It's a lot
I
of
worked
wins.
with Destiny, and she was saying I just didn't feel like I've got everything. I said, let's run back the tapes of the last 30 days, and in the last 30 days, picked up 3 listings and 2 qualified buyers. I said, okay, 30 days of work, that's 5 in the pipeline. If 5 in the pipeline continue for 10 out of the, or to use Julie's, 7 out of the, well, it'd be 8 times 5, that's 40 transactions in a year. When only 3% of agents close 25 or more deals a year, that's how to win the day.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you got to look back to see how far you've come instead of just being in that moment.
Right.
Yeah. All right, let's go win today. I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Bye.